Let my friends list know.
That'd be good. All right, here we are online, and we've got the Solaire Club taking on Instant Reflex in the round of 16 cycle to Gold Cycle 2. And we've got joining me, Enthals once again, a guy that I can't seem to make go away, just keeps coming back, and
Quincy's stalking me, guys. It's official.
it's a problem,
I
because,
can't shake him.
yeah, is it that, or is it that you are just relentless in your pursuit of me? Could be either, who knows?
That's a far stretch.
You think so?
That's a long shot, Quincy.
Anyway, to mitigate whatever Enthos is doing here and stuff is Beaverbanger as well from Team Nullstone Gaming. So thanks for joining us, man. So that was your cue to talk, or don't. Okay, that's fine. Intro's good. Don't need to hear from him.
No, it's all good.
Okay, anyway, so two teams that decent, I think, actually. I'm not sure too many people know of the Solaire Club, but I've seen them play a few things, and I like them a fair bit. They've actually done pretty well in scrims. And
they were solid in CIC. I think they tied for third or fourth place in the amateur division, which is all the teams outside of the Diamond League.
Right.
So
That's not bad at
overall,
all.
like, they were the number 11 team. Yeah, we played against them too, and they're well versed. They know what they're doing.
And Dark Green, I think, has one of my favorite names as well, Army of Mums.
Yeah, and if you've seen Scumbag Network's last two top 5 videos, two of these guys in the Solar Club are in both as the top first play. So, well-versed players, no doubt about it.
And of course, Instant Reflex is a team that is full of players you should know. Panio, Kami, Saintrox, Masera, and Marcus Moy. All at some point, I think, have at least appeared on HoNcast. Definitely everybody except for Okami. I don't know if he's shown up yet, but I'm pretty sure he has. And of course, Saintrox, formerly of Reason Gaming. Marcus Moy, strong carry player, been around for a while. Masera is ringer extraordinaire. He's filled in for a bunch of different teams. Panny, similar deal. So, two teams that are quite strong here, meeting up in the round of 16. One of them is going to go down to the losers bracket relatively quickly. But let's start out with the bans here. Ophelia and Riptide getting taken out by the Legion side, and Cthulhuphant and Parasite being banned out by Hellborn. Cthulhu Para seems to be pretty typical Hellborn bans, and Riptide not surprising either. But Ophelia first ban. What do you guys think about that?
Let's go Ophelia first ban.
Yeah.
Let's see, was it for Hellborn or the Legion?
The Legion.
The Legion banned Ophelia first.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I guess it's an okay ban. I don't know, I guess my thing's bugged. I can't see that right now. I might need to relog.
We just had a gauntlet pick, and right now we've got a second pick for Hellborn. Is your chat showing up for the thing?
Yeah, it's showing up. I just don't see the Ophelia ban. I mean...
It appears in your center?
When you skip the first 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's possible. You might have just skipped
it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Ophelia ban, it's a pretty obnoxious hero to play against, especially... I know my team, when we're I think when we're a Legion, we usually like to run the Ophelia or the Parasite, especially with the first pick. But other than that, it's a pretty solid ban.
Yeah, no doubt. And first two picks for Legion side here are Revenant and Gauntlet. Hellborn follow up with Rhapsody and Rally. So I already hate the Rally pick, and if you've been watching this at all, you should know that by now. But Enthas, I think these drafts are a little bit odd. Am I crazy?
You're not crazy. Gauntlet's not one of your typical first 3 picks. Along with Rally, Rally is usually one of the last 2 picks from my experience anyway. I mean, you pick him if you need some sort of physical presence or escape mechanism or stun out, whatever it might be. But yeah, not your typical first 3 picks. Tempest and Revenant, sure, that's fine. 2 very strong heroes. Rally, Gauntlet, not so much, but I'm curious to see how the end of these drafts turn out.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Magnus and Swiftblade made it through the first picks. I mean, they picked Gauntlet and Rally over Magnus, Swiftblade, which is a little questionable, but...
I would say that's more than a little questionable. I'd say that's
extremely questionable. That often.
I don't know, man. They passed up Solomon too, and we keep seeing we keep seeing that hero get picked. So maybe they're just crazy. Sorry, that's not fair because I don't know if you were here yesterday or watching or have seen any of these Gold Division matches, but we've seen Solomon a fair bit in Gold Division, as in
he's a pretty solid hero. I think that he has potential, a lot of potential actually. I know that my team wanted to try him with an Empath Jeremiah combo, and I think that it's definitely viable.
Yeah,
And
I'm
past
not
Jared's
convinced.
that would be so annoying to go against.
It really would. So, Torture going to finish off the Hellborn's draft. Tempest the third pick for the Legion side. And I like the Tempest. I think that brings it back quite a lot. Running jungler, always very strong. And, of course, Revenant can lane pretty much anywhere. So, not giving too much away with that. I think right now I'm favoring the Legion side's draft a little bit. And perhaps more than a little bit. I don't like the fact that they picked both supports in their top 3 for the Hellborn. And I really don't like that second pick rally. So, Beaverbanger, which team are you giving the edge right now?
I think Hellborn has really strong teamfight potential with that, but Legion looks like it's going towards more of like a kind of a ganky team so far. But the Tempest pick, I think, really kind of balances it out. So I really like the Tempest pick, but Hellborn's lineup, I think I like that a little bit more right now, except for the Rally pick. The Rally pick was a little questionable. I think Magnus would have been a better pick there.
Yeah, and Magnus
Definitely.
now banned out by the Legion side, so it won't be picked up this game,
Yeah.
along with Hack and Dr. Repulsor. Flux and Swiftblade give me the first 2 bans for the Hellborn side, so finally Swiftblade and Magnus are both addressed. Enthos, what do you think about both these teams' draft? Anybody have an edge yet?
Not as of yet. I mean, double support on the Hellborn, as far as I can see. I'd be really surprised if they run the Torture as a carry or a mid, but I guess we'll wait and find out. Yeah, I would have liked to see Magnus for sure. Magnus is an extremely strong hero. He's one of those huge game-turning heroes, playmakers, so to speak. And yeah, it's unfortunate to see him and Bubbles ban 2 heroes that are really good at turning the tide.
And no doubt 2 heroes that would combo very well with Tempest as well. Magnus and Tempest, one of the best hero combinations in the game. But
Yeah, hey, it's
Aluna,
your favorite hero.
Yeah.
2 of your favorite heroes
Why
in this
did
game.
and Gauntlet too, for that matter? Okay, now here's a spoiler. I wrote something else that's not up yet, but Gauntlet has actually seen a substantial increase in success. In CIC, he was 17.6%, and now he's at 57.9% win, I think. So he's gotten a lot better, but I still don't particularly like the hero. More concerning to me is they keep picking Aluna. Like,
Not they, different teams.
I know.
This is a different team
oh
now.
my god. By they, I mean like the Gold Division teams could keep picking Aluna. Beaverbanger, can you justify this? Because I think we've had several people on so far that have not been able to do so.
See, I don't understand that either. I mean, she just. I don't know. My team, I know that my team would probably never draft her. We prefer heroes like Torture, Rhapsody, Blitz. Um, but Luna's kind of fallen out. I know there's a valid reason. I don't remember why, but I think she's not as strong as heroes like Rhapsody. So,
Yeah.
but
I mean, personally, I just think it comes down to she's got good lane presence with the power throw, but after about 10 minutes, she's so much weaker than other supports. Her stun is not very good. It doesn't do any damage. It's
Yeah.
unreliable when it's the red stun because you're basing it on RNG. The power throw damage is still pretty darn good, but it's a skill shot. There's no stun. There's no slow effect, and she just doesn't have the strongest skill set. Like I was saying yesterday, I think she has one of the weakest ultimates in the game, personally. But Dark Lady gonna finish off the Legion side's draft, so I guess
one
I'm
of my
okay with
favorite
that.
heroes.
Yeah.
So let's see. They're gonna probably run a Revenant Suicide.
I think that's pretty
Yeah,
much their
looks
only
like it.
option. They could dual lane TDL Luna top, but I don't know. That's a really bad idea.
Yeah, you usually don't want to send your hard carry top, especially a hero like Dark Lady.
Right. I mean, it'd be one thing if it were Swiftblade or something like that, and
Yeah.
if you lose the lane, okay, well, that sucks for him, but Revenant will get good farm bottom, and he can do just fine with 350 gold per minute. TDL needs the free farm. She needs to get the cleave as soon as possible. Kraken, going to be the 4th pick for the Hellborn side. Love Kraken, great hero. So, trying to bring it back here a little bit as the Hellborn side, and I think they might be looking for a short laner here, I hope. We could see Kraken in that role, yep. Do you guys like Kraken short lane? I'm not a really big fan of it. Let's go to Enthos first on that one.
It depends on what the rest of your draft looks like, really. I mean, if you have a carry that can get really good farm middle, I don't know, whether it be like a Puppet Master or something like that, then sure, I guess it works. But if you're running a hard carry such as Clanks, you're probably going to want to put him short lane as opposed to the Kraken.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're going to run, definitely like a dual mid, dual top lane with probably Kraken Suicide. And I think that Kraken, does really well in solo lanes because he gets his level 6 pretty quickly, he gets his ultimate, he can take a fair bit of damage, so I mean, yeah, I prefer to see him in either a Suicide or mid lane.
Yeah, and both lanes, I think, for the Legion and the Hellboard. Pretty predictable. Could either be Rally or Kraken in the suicide lane, but either way, generally similar heroes, strength heroes with an escape mechanism. And Beaverbanger, what's your opinion on Clanks? Because we've seen this hero occasionally, both in this division as well as Diamond, and he's done pretty well in Diamond actually. So what do you think?
I think the hero is he's pretty wacky. I don't know. There's something about him that like lets him compete, but there's also something that holds him back. I guess. I mean, he has really low strength gain, which hurts him a lot, especially. I don't know about the hero. His Q is just so unreliable.
Right.
I know that his ultimate and his passive let him do some insane damage in teamfights, especially when he picks up a Thunderclaw. And he can farm really fast, of course. But I don't know if that hero has what it takes to be one of the top carries in the game. Yet, at least. I think with a little bit of change, I think he could be definitely up there.
And no doubt, he's had some good success, like we said before, in Diamond Division. Willowkeeper, I believe, 2-0 with him. I'm not sure if anybody else has played the hero, but yeah, it's a very situational hero, no doubt, because, like you're saying, the Hawk is the Bang, is unreliable. The Hawk is going to help mitigate some of that lack of tankiness, but generally it's reasonably easy to kill him if you can lock him down a little bit. And there's a lot of situations where he can not help you very much. Although maybe Rally gonna help out, prevent him from taking.
Can I say something about Clanks real fast?
No.
Yes. Okay. So Beaverbanger, last night after you left, we went against Mid Romney, who plays Clanks quite a bit. Me and Swiftflame, and Clanks can just go on the edge of the map.
I was about to say that.
Move there. You cannot shell surf there. You cannot portal through there. He's invincible. You cannot do anything, and he can still attack you from there. I think that S2 needs to change that. I think it makes him, if you know how to exploit it, not exactly the best hero for competitive play, but it makes him really annoying to go against in, TNM and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you can, if you center the camera on yourself by pressing the V button, you can actually just fly off the map and no one can attack you or anything. And I've lost so many kills to a Clanks because of that. And I've actually secured kills and not died because I don't know, it's a cheap bug, I think.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
But I think it's pretty fun to exploit.
It's fun if you're playing it.
Yeah, I think, and we saw earlier when we had a Clanks in one of these games, just him flying in pretty insane directions, and I think at least making one escape because of that type of thing. So, yeah, Clanks, of course, going to have to take advantage of the Hawk here. Meanwhile, he is in top lane with the Torturer babysit, so not a huge surprise there, as Torturer, one of the best zoning supports in the game, up against the Suicide Revenant. And we've seen Suicide Revenant a few times, and I think teams really at this point should know exactly how to counter him. You buy Dust, and Torturer's got Dust, and Revenant just seems to get shut down.
They sent Dark Lady solo bottom, which I guess it's a solo Kraken, but I really don't like having a Dark Lady solo bottom. That's the type of hero that you want to secure free farm on, because she's just a scary late game powerhouse. And I understand them sending Kraken bottom of their draft, but I just think that Kraken is kind of a weak suicide. He just shines as a solo middle, or maybe even a solo safe lane. But
you're not wrong about that. You're entirely right about Kraken being a difficult suicide, perhaps not the best role for him. I think I looked at this in one of the games that he happened to be playing Kraken Suicide, and it didn't go very well in general. Actually, over here in the middle lane, Aluna trying to turn this onto Rhapsody, won't be able to do so. Yes, actually lost auto attack with double damage, gets the kill. Now they're going to try to kill Rally here. Compel is down for 5 seconds. A couple more autos from Gauntlet will be able to secure the kill, and Aluna can't seem to get in range. As the mana pot there, one more power throw is enough to kill him, and she's going to have it in a second. So there it is. Now just have to land it. Setting it up. There it is. Finally gets the snipe off, and that's going to be ult tap for the Legion side in middle lane. So I guess that's why they sent them dual mid. I agree with you that I think that Aluna should probably be bottom, just because it's more important to get TDL an early cleave than it is to get Gauntlet a decent start in this middle lane. Although I guess they're really both potentially snowball heroes, but things going well here for the Legion side so far with the 2-0 lead.
Well, I think that if you pick a hero like Dark Lady, you need to send a support down bottom with him, which means you probably have to pick a strong solo hero middle that would be okay 1 versus 2 if it had to be like that. So, I mean, I guess it's working out okay because TDL is doing pretty well bottom solo against Kraken.
Yeah, and
like Kraken also does get more farm than he probably should if, well, definitely if there were 2 down there with him.
Oh, meanwhile, top, I'm missing all sorts of stuff as they actually get the kill onto Clanks.
Luna, nonetheless.
Yeah. Luna's doing work here. Panny's got a serial killer streak, and there's actually a chain reactions. Torture looking for the counter, not going to find it. Will eventually get it after with the impalement damage, of course. Perpetuates despite the death. And now, Ultimate Warrior streak from Panny, so stupid Luna, stop making me look dumb. Anyway.
It's really good rotation by the support, though.
Yeah.
There's safe lane.
No doubt. And, of course, Revenant up here now going to have a much better time. He is level 4. Currently sitting at 207 gold per minute compared to Kendorf at only 235 on that Clanks, and all of a sudden Clanks might be in some trouble here in terms of his overall farm. Similar to Dark Lady in the sense that he wants to get that early Thunderclaw, he wants to get his farm up because he can farm so fast, and he does seem to need a lot of items. Am I off on that?
No, I definitely agree with that. He's weird because if he doesn't get absolute free farm, he can just kind of fall behind really easily.
Right. And, I mean, to be totally honest with you as well, on bottom, I feel like Kraken should be doing a lot better.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. He's only at, what, 220, and Darkly's at above 310. That's pretty surprising, judging from the fact that Kraken has level 3 splash.
And it's a 1v1
you also have to realize
melee.
That he's probably having to play a little bit safer than he usually would be because his ward got countered, and there's always that Tempest presence.
Mid lane, actually, Okami gonna fall on that. Actually, that's top, where Okami fell. Never mind. Mid lane, there's just action. As Gauntlet's trying to turn this around on Rhapsody, might be able to get the kill. There's the Infernal Instability. That's a lot of damage. Now, Capel goes through, though. Counter onto Luna. Not sure what Panny was thinking right there. But going back in, looking for something onto that rally. He had a Compel up. Definitely not a good idea. Top lane, though, Okami did fall on that Suicide Revenant. Of course, Dust of Revelation, I'm guessing, was used.
Kraken's farming Tempest Elementals in the woods. I think he just got all of those. That's actually a huge amount of gold for him.
Yeah. And that's something that doesn't get talked about too much, but minion heroes, Tempest, Keeper of the Forest, even Ophelia, there can be some pretty decent gold coming out from killing all those extra creeps. Like, killing all Tempest ultimates?
Are. Yeah, it's hard to escape with them, so you need to be careful with positioning as far as feeding the enemy team is concerned.
Or, yeah, killing 6, that's what, like 200 gold or something like that? I want to say.
I'm actually not sure.
I think the Elementals usually give like 40 to 43 gold each, I think. So yeah, and they're relatively easy to kill. So if you're able to finish them off, I think it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And like even using a skill to get them because it's just a good amount of gold.
Right. We're having to rotate middle here. Gauntlet looking for the hook. Will find the Gauntlet Blast actually onto Rhapsody, and that's going to be an easy hook back into the kill. So Masera picking up the nice destruction of Rhapsody there.
Is Gauntlet's ultimate does it immobilize?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also, I think it dispels upon attack. Like if you right-click a hero that's been Gauntlet blasted, it stops it. It like frees the hero or something, right? Am I crazy?
I'm not sure.
Any heroes in the path on the way to your primary target get they're pretty much stunned, but until you attack them. So if you do attack them while they're in that state, they will definitely come out of it.
I don't actually play a lot of Gauntlet, so I don't know.
Yeah. He's a fun hero, but if he doesn't get some early game kills or farm, it's hard to come back with him.
Oh yeah, he falls behind pretty fast.
Actually, you're gonna miss the Compel there, is Rally, but yeah, and definitely a snowball hero, so that goes both ways. Of course, if he does have the early game start, then he's gonna take off and do a ton of work for you, but if he gets shut down, doesn't get that portal key off relatively quickly, then he can't do too much. Top lane, he's actually got an Invis rune here, so looking for something. Perhaps onto this Clanks, has a Gauntlet Blast back up in a couple of seconds, and Revenant could Invis himself in here. Yep, that's going to be initiation. Gauntlet Blast, and the Infernal Instability, but oh, there goes the Hawk. Blast auto attack will finish him off, so just a little enough with that Enfeeble, I would imagine, providing the movement speed slow, and probably was the difference there between getting the kill and not. So 1 point in Enfeeble, and definitely a well-invested upgrade there.
Enfeeble's a great ability, man. I think
really
it's really
is.
overused quite a bit, especially against a hero like Clanks, where he relies on mobility and attack speed. If Gauntlet can get in there, get a hook off, and just start auto-attacking him, he needs to get out of there so we can get both of those things back.
And really underrated, too, when it comes to Kongor. Gauntlet, a very, very good Kongor hero.
People use that to its maximum potential.
I don't know. I don't think people realize exactly how much that work that does. Anyway, over here, Rally or Kraken missing the charge, and he might be in some trouble. Drops the ultimate onto 2, though, and there goes the Seismic Slam. Panty gonna die. Looks like Revenant also gonna take the fall. Kraken trying to get away from that Enfeeble. Gauntlet is out of mana, so it looks like, oh, nope, there's the Infernal Instability. Gives him the move speed boost, and the excellent Compel. Man, to save his teammate. Now Gauntlet all of a sudden in a ton of trouble. The entire Hellborn side is here. That's gonna be a cleanup. So it ends up being a 3 for nothing there. As,
That was huge for Hellborn.
That was
Well
really big.
played.
Excellent
Yeah.
Kraken ultimate too, dropping a couple of heroes and the Seismic Slam right on top of them. So there's some synergy right there between those two heroes. Meanwhile, bottom tower did get pushed, and they're working on the tier 2. So they should probably do something about this on the Hellborn team, it feels like.
That was very well played by Kraken. I mean, he was low as is, and 2 enemy heroes were coming in to kill him, and he risked it by going back, getting that ulti off, and continuing to dodge, which was definitely well played on his part.
Yeah.
Army of Mums come out with a huge Kraken, and if I recall correctly, he's the one that plays Kraken in both of the Scumbag Network's top 5 plays, so he's certainly well versed in this hero.
Rally here gonna look for a kill, but just takes some Glacial Blast instead, and bot tier 2 is denied, so they get a couple tower kills in the bottom lane in favor of the Legion. Meanwhile, top tier 1 falls as well, so they finally get some sort of response. They did also put some pressure on the mid tier 1 tower, so finally some pushes coming out here as Saint Rocks on the Tempest is level 8, so wouldn't be surprised to see him continuing to push. And he's actually doing quite well here, 330 gold per minute on Tempest, considering he didn't gank at all. That's not bad farm.
Yeah, not at
I
all.
want to say something about the rally with the ghost munchers.
As Rhapsody's getting caught here and will die, so yeah, go for it.
Usually you don't see ghost munchers picked up on the mid heroes, especially against teams with like Revenant, Gauntlet, Aluna, and especially on heroes that have to pick up portal keys. Like that's usually a core on them. So I'm just
Right.
a little iffy on the phase boots pickup.
Yeah, and definitely going to hurt his tankiness for a
Yeah.
hero that is going to be reliant at least a fair bit on his ability to stay alive in these team fights, especially because his skill set doesn't offer that much. His damage output isn't the greatest outside of Seismic Slam, so...
And even his mana,
alive, yeah, go for it, sorry.
is when you have Steam Boots, you can always tread swap to get the Intel Boots to stun and everything. So you see that he only has 416 mana. That hurts his mana pool. I mean, of course it gives him really good mobility, but all the hero really needs is a portal key for mobility.
No
Steam
doubt.
Boots.
And right now, so he's only going to have 2 Compels and a Seismic Slam in these team fights. It's definitely going to be an issue. Tempest here is invis, and he's setting up for a huge ultimate. Will catch 3 in the background. Seismic Slam, though, on top of the Kraken ultimate. Basically means the Tempest ultimate did nothing here. Nice ultimate from Rhapsody, stopping all sorts of damage. Tempest going to fall in the background as well. Looks like Revenant going to take the death. Ends up being 2 dead so far for the Legion side. Just Rally on the Hellborn, and they're continuing to chase this here. Aluna putting the stun down. Last hit actually will hit from Clank, so 3 for 1, excuse me, so far for the Hellborn side. They're going to turn this into a mid-tower push. That Tempest ultimate was fantastic, but there was no follow-up because everybody was caught in that Kraken ult. Army of Mom's doing very well, actually. Rhapsody gets caught by the Gauntlet hook, so well done.
I think that Saint Rock should have waited just a couple more seconds before getting that ulti off.
Yeah.
Just to see if his teammates could follow up, because even if you get all 5 heroes in the Tempest ultimate, if your team's not there to follow up, it's not going to do anything good for you. So, I mean, yeah, getting 3 heroes this early in the game is impressive, but unfortunately that Kraken ult just shut them down.
Right. I mean, a few seconds later or a few seconds earlier, if they had managed to drop it before the Kraken got his ultimate off, and
Definitely.
either way, I think would have been much more effective, yeah. But ended up just the wrong time there. So nice ultimate, but unfortunately not particularly effective in the end. And we'll just head back to the woods and continue to farm. Bottom lane, meanwhile, TDL going to try to chase down Rally. Has the Dark Blades on him, but not going to last too much longer. Compel is up in a couple of seconds, and the Gauntlet hook misses. So a gank from the Hellborn's or Legion side there, and all of a sudden the flashbangs are coming in from Clanks as he's looking for a jump onto Gauntlet. Compel forward. Gauntlet blast onto 2. Infernal Instability there as well, but the Cicadas are on a Gauntlet, and they actually will get the counter kill onto Candor. So TDL showing off how powerful she can be with those Dark Blades and charging strikes. And she's up to 380 gold per minute now. So is Clanks. And which one of these heroes are we favoring here, Bieberbanger?
Between Clanks and Dark Lady?
Yeah.
I think Dark Lady is a lot stronger than Clanks, especially when it comes to late game, and they're both capped out. See, the charging strikes, especially the heroes with the gap closer, are just really good against a Clanks. Like Magnus is one of my all-time favorite heroes against Clanks because of that stun, and then just sits him right on top of him. So
yeah, and then getting on top before he can activate the Hawk. Obviously, I don't know who it was. Maybe Znaui? I don't remember. Now, it might have actually been Root from Willowkeeper was mentioning that if you run a Suicide Magnus against a Clanks, actually mid lane, as we're going to have some action here, Luna getting dropped by Kraken, that's going to be an easy kill right off the bat. Tempest now in a lot of trouble as the entire Hellborn side is collapsing on top of him, but at least the Kraken not doing too much there, but just enough to slow him down and continue to get the kill. So, nice cleanup once again there for the Hellborn side. They still are down a little bit in both gold and experience, but they're trying to bring this back. And as I was saying before, I think Root of Z mentioned running a Suicide Magnus against a Clanks in the solo short. You can hit level 6 and then just stun Eruption, and there's literally nothing he can do about it. He just dies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's that powerful in the laning phase, it just shows you how powerful it can be with a portal key and stuff.
No, I've noticed the last couple games I've seen Revenant go Suicide, they max out Mortification first compared to Defiled. Do you guys support that decision?
I do. I definitely do.
Okay.
I think that's a more standard skill build. For Revenant.
Powers are almost killing Rhapsody there. But yeah, I mean, at the very least, it's going to allow him to take some stacks. And at this point, probably with TDL having a cleaver, he's not going to get the priority on the stacks, but he will be able to effectively farm the jungle with that ability as opposed to sitting there and slowly dying and not getting too much done if he doesn't have the mortification maxed out.
Yeah, I suppose it makes picking off heroes a little bit more difficult, but as far as teamfight goes, that negative magic armor and overall damage output is increased significantly.
So, Revenant here actually having a pretty solid time with 251 gold per minute, but his Suicide counterpart in Kraken over 300 GPM, doing much, much better. But Hellborn continuing to be a little bit down in both resources, and I think this is once again the issue with running a dual support versus a jungle lineup. You tend to not do that well in experience, and at the very best you'll end up with an even gold swing. Kraken is getting caught in the bottom lane, actually will fall thanks to the Dark Blades, preventing the charge, so well ganked there by Gauntlet and TDL. Obviously Gauntlet has his portal key already, so going to be a pretty huge pickup for him, and he's trying to snowball. 360 gold per minute here, so not doing too bad at all either. Are we feeling like the Legion side is firmly in control of this game, or just mildly in control of this game?
Well, the fact they have a Dark Lady at 465 gold per minute is a daunting prospect for any team. That's one of the last heroes that you want to see doing that well, only 16 minutes into the game.
And Torturer actually will live. Rhapsody ultimate there, unnecessary. He had enough health to survive that auto attack. And now Rap ult going to be down. Tempest ultimate is available. So this might be the engagement they want. Hook there from Gauntlet not going to connect. Actually, they did kill him. Was that a power throw snipe?
That was a power throw snipe.
Yeah. And Legion side's going to back off. I'm not a huge fan of this, actually, because the Rhapsody ultimate is down. If they can manage to get a decent initiation from Gauntlet and a follow-up Tempest ultimate, they can take a pretty big team fight here.
Looks like they may be fake backing.
Yeah.
Waiting for a pick.
Heading into the Hellborn Woods, doing some resource control here. And Clank's actually going to be in some trouble. Will take the stun here. And here's Gauntlet. Man, he just drops. 930 health, and a little bit of burst damage kills him. Gauntlet Blast now onto Rally. There's the follow-up from Dark Lady. Another easy kill, so 2 picks. Now Kraken ultimate down, accomplishing pretty much nothing. And Legion side really not using too much in terms of their overall teamfight abilities. The Gauntlet Blast was used, but Cover of Darkness still up for Dark Lady. Tempest ultimate still available. Pause goes out. I didn't turn auto skip pause on, so I'm going to do that right now.
Can you type in the... Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this Hellborn team's positioning just is not great. Time after time they're getting picked off by this Revenant Invis. Alright, let's see.
Are you well versed in the control panel, Beaverbanger?
I have no idea.
Alright, hit Control F8, and it'll bring up a whole bunch of text and stuff. And and just type in the command in Skype, replay_auto_skip pause space 1, the number 1. And it'll turn on pause skipping and replays. You have to do it every single time you open the client, but it's much more effective than just sitting there. So I'm going to pause at 1840 on the in-game timer.
1840? Okay.
Yeah. So that we can resync. So sorry about this, guys, but it happens. Forget to turn it on, and when you're casting with other people as opposed to solo casting, it's much better, but it does mean that stuff happens. Anyway, you guys both at 1840?
Yep.
Alright.
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should be about right.
Good to go.
Excellent. Alright, so yeah, a little bit of time there, but a lot better, I am going to assume, than sitting through whatever pause they had planned for us. And of course, in the future, we'll just be able to go right through that crap. So Clank's the top lane, taking some creeps, pretty pushed up there, and that's not bad. Looks like he's going for the Nullstone here. I really hate that. They've got a Taint Soul.
It's okay against their team, but he's just not going to be doing enough damage. And the hero itself doesn't have enough survivability to survive a Dark Lady jumping on him. So I just don't think that the Hellborn is going to win this game, but we'll see.
And I mean, isn't just going to get taken off by the Taint Soul? Like, it's got a ton of range.
It can, yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be completely ineffective. It's going to stop a 40 mana minor harass tool that is.
But there
not
isn't
really
much
important.
that Clanks can do, like item wise. He can't really build anything that will help him against the Dark Lady. I mean, Geometers, I guess, would help with like the silence, but Dark Lady's probably gonna go for a Frostburn right now, and then there's not much Clanks is gonna be able to do. So
yeah. The burst damage, of course,
despite
coming out from
that,
her.
I feel like Clanks needs to do damage-oriented items because, I mean, he does have a Rally and Kraken, 2 tanky initiators on his team, and if he can just position himself properly, trying to stay away from that Dark Lady at all times, I think he will be able to get some auto attacks off, and that's pretty much all he's good for. If he gets into a position where he gets his Nullstone taken off anyway, I think he's already dead at that point.
Definitely possible. And I mean, they have 4 stunners on this Hellborn side, so if they can't lock down this Dark Lady, then they're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah. I mean, positioning is easy for Clanks, too, with his mobility, with his ability to go up and down terrain. If he can just do that, I don't think a Nullstone's necessary at all.
And perhaps, at least not as a first item, maybe go Thunderclaw first, get some damage output as well as some farming ability, and then the Nullstone maybe second if you really want that badly, and it comes a lot faster thanks to the increased farming potential that you have from Thunderclaw.
I think Thunderclaw, the change to it, it's absolutely, I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Thunderclaw's one of my favorite items, and I just think it's a really good item right now. It's a really good spot.
I think it was viable before, and people just didn't pick it, and I definitely think it's viable now, and people still aren't picking it that much, so hopefully we see a little bit more of it, because it is such a powerful item, and I'd like to see teams recognize, yeah, this does a crap ton of damage and isn't that expensive, so maybe we should get it. But so far, not super popular in competitive play. Looks like Legicide's going to be pushing down the mid tower here.
The problem with that, I think it's just there's a lot more, like, there's a lot of safer items than, like a Wing Bow or a Frostburn or something, just a safer item pickup that won't necessarily, like, a Thunderclaw could, like, make, or, I don't know if it could make or break it, but it could definitely have a pretty big impact on the game, or it could just totally just kind of fail.
I think it honestly might be a situation where it's not accepted, so even though if it's a better item than something else, people will go like a Frostburn because, oh, it's a Frostburn, I got the normal item, I got the expected item. If I go for a Thunderclaw and it doesn't work, then it's like, oh, you lost because you bought a Thunderclaw.
Yeah.
And actually, Luna getting caught out here ran right past a Rev Ward. It did expire, but she's
there
still
goes the
well
eye.
by. Yep. And that's going to be a pretty big issue.
Yeah, Hellborn needed that for sure. They need map control as quickly as possible if they have any chance of bringing this game back.
So, pretty serious misplay, I feel like. Why is Aluna running through the Hellborn jungle without her team? With the eye. Like,
Because she's a Luna.
okay. Yeah. I'll explain some stuff. Because she's a Luna. Only 758 health, magic armor with those mystic vestments, but not too much else. And pretty easy pick off there for the Hellborn team. So looks like we're going to enter a little bit more of a passive phase here, as I think both sides are committed to farming 500 GPM here on the Dark Lady, 421 on Clanks. So TDL's farm definitely picking up a lot faster than Clanks is. And as this resource lead grows, I feel like the Hellborn's gonna be... It's just unrecoverable. I mean, at this point, it's already a little bit getting to that point, but TDL, probably not shrunken, but once she gets the Dawnbringer or Geosbane, whichever she's going for, that could be a really big issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that both Rally and Tempest got push books instead of portal keys.
And meanwhile, mid lane, actually, Torture gonna get caught there by Hasted Glacius, but yeah, 2 push books on the Hellborn side, you said?
Push book on both Rally and Tempest, so opposing teams.
Well, I think the push book is actually viable against heroes like Kraken and Rally, but I mean, I don't know about on Rally. I prefer the portal key. Or if you're not even going to get a portal key, I say just go for the Staff of the Master. I mean, Tablet's okay for the mobility, I guess, to cancel the Tempest Hole, but...
I'm definitely on board with the push book, especially with the Tempest Hole and the Gauntlet and the Dark Lady. I mean, having a little bit of extra mobility from those heroes that can get up on you so quickly is really nice. But that's a support item, and when you run a dual support like this, you're supposed to have at least one that can get a utility item like a push book. It's not supposed to be required to put it on a Rally, because I completely agree. That's a portal key. Like, you need portal key on Rally. You just need it. So, the fact that he doesn't have it here and has a push book instead, I don't get it, really, to be honest. Like, the supports aren't farming that badly either. So.
Yeah. So Clanks just got an Elder Parasite. I'm hoping to see that Thunderclaw next for maximum damage output.
That's a greedy item. A really greedy item, and I think that's what he needs to do at this point. Like.
Yeah, I love Elder Parasite on Clanks. I think it's really strong.
Elder Parasite and Thunderclaw.
What was that?
It's Elder Parasite and Thunderclaw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good combo. Obviously ridiculous amounts of lightning coming out.
Yeah.
So 16 to 12 here so far for the Legion side, and Saint Rock's continuing to do pretty well. Masera continuing to do pretty well, but of course the real star of Legion side is Dark Lady, over 500 gold per minute now. And on the Hellborn side, it's pretty much just Clanks. Everybody else is not doing all that well. Kraken in particular has fallen off a lot, and I don't know. Seems like he should have gotten that portal key. He's got a Soul's Bulwark now. They should be looking for pickoffs, especially because the Legion side is gankable, no doubt. They just don't have any wards on the Hellborn. I mean, like, yeah, bottom river, that's it. So.
Especially with that eye pick off. I mean, they may not have very many wards, but I think Rhapsody's doing what she can to counter wards, and she just completely skipped over the blue ward right next to the observatory. That's unfortunate. Well placed ward though from Penny, probably anticipating that they would be trying to check that low
there's the
clip
hook
up
in
there.
from Gauntlet, and Rhapsody gonna fall real quick. Okay, I don't understand where the support's money is going. Rhapsody's getting an Astrolabe. Okay, that's where all her money went. And Torture has 166 gold per minute, and pretty much no items. Steam Boots, Dust of Revelation, Counter Wards, so... Has he just been buying Counter Wards this entire game, and that's where all of his cash is?
Yeah, I mean, usually in high-level games such as this, you don't see supports. You might see them get one, if they're lucky, 2 items during the entirety of a game, because they're just spending so much more to get on warding and counter warding, which should be priority. So, when you see supports with very few items, whether or not they're feeding, they're probably doing their job right in these high-level games.
And middle lane Rev Ward actually will spot out Revenant there, and that he notices because the Archer fires at him. But, I mean, I don't know, I feel like in dual support lineups, you usually see at least one do better than this in terms of items. Like, it's almost 30 minutes in, and Rhapsody's going for an Astrolabe, but she doesn't even have it yet. I would have expected that by 20 to 25 minutes, in a dual support, at least one of them would have been able to get a push book or a Astrolabe or something like that. And
you would hope so, definitely. But she is 1 in 6, suffering significantly, and both of them are level 9. Well, Aluna's only level 10, I suppose, but they're falling way behind.
Aluna's only level 10, but they're running a solo support versus dual support, so...
Yeah, definitely.
Should have had a little bit more in terms of...
They're struggling big time due to the fact that Legion's just dominating this map. They're winning in farm and experience with 10k plus in both. So they're hard pressed to get what vision they can down. They're probably going to aim for wards that will be avoided by the eye that the Legion's now wielding. So Hopefully they'll be able to bring this back. I guess we'll wait and see though.
Yeah. Now Revenant putting the cloak up for 3 heroes here. Tempest, Luna, and himself, all invisible, looking for a gank. And I think we should mention that as much as we've sung the praises of Legion, and they have done a very good job so far in this game, I don't feel like they've made appropriate use of Tempest. They've only used one ultimate this entire game, and it seems like he's just been in the woods pretty much farming. He hasn't been pushing all that much, and he definitely hasn't been looking to force fights when his ultimate is off of cooldown. So I don't know. I feel like there was more potential there for that hero, and they really haven't taken advantage of it.
They have a Shrunken Head on Dark Lady and a Tempest Hold. They could try to force a Kong or even push
Right.
that tower.
So yeah, TDL going the Shrunken Head. I was really hoping she wouldn't do that.
Why's that?
Why? Like, I mean, look at this Hellborn side. Seismic Slam and Compel from Rally, both physical abilities. Kraken Ultimate has a superior magic stun. And most of the damage from Clanks is going to be physical. So,
Well, right now, Clinks has Other Parasite and Nullstone. What's his attack damage? Let's say it's 135. I think most of his damage right now is actually coming from magic damage. I think BKB was a safe pickup, especially against heroes like a dual support with Rhapsody, Torture, like Rally, because they could lock a Dark Lady down if he wasn't careful.
Kongor has been slain.
But see, they just finished Calling War, so that's pretty good. They have Tempest Hold. They can push into the base now.
no doubt. I feel like if she had just gotten a little bit tanky with the charging strikes, she could at very least survive and then get away. And then, of course, the Shrunken Head, pretty much a completely defensive item. It does actually provide some damage, so that's not entirely fair, but mostly a defensive item, I think. It's not going to help you too much on the offensive other than just the ability to not take stuns. But, like I said, there's a fair bit of physical stuff. Meanwhile, over here, Kraken getting caught out real quick, and he will drop. Dark Lady still not popping the Shrunken. Oh,
Yeah, I don't think
melted.
yeah.
especially with the mortification on him. Revenant.
And, okay, what is Rally doing?
Not a bad question.
That was
Ooh, big Rhapsody.
awful. Rhapsody, you're Kraken with buyback there, and a nice two-man hole onto there, but Kraken. Tempest getting the ulti on everything, and this is going to be turn city. 4 heroes dead for the Hellborn side, and the Legion have lost nothing. So a nice Kraken ultimate onto 2 after the buyback, but Saint Rocks with that hole. Did he catch all 5, or was that just 4? I couldn't tell. I don't think Clanks was in it, but yeah. That was a hell of an ulti, and that's what the sort of follow-up we were missing in that much earlier fight. TDL with the Rune Cleaver, obviously, does a lot of damage. So that's going to be mid-racks.
Those are 2 great ults, man. First from Kraken, but Tempest saw that. He was waiting for the Kraken ultimate to come out to position himself necessarily to get that ultimate off, and he did it so well.
So Army of Bums had a good early game, but get a question that a little bit. Not saving his ultimate for the Tempest to cancel the hole, and they do have a fair number of cancels, so maybe he just felt like he didn't need to, and he could be a little more offensive with that. But whatever the issue was, the coordination wasn't there. As Rally's going to get jumped once again. Poke back in onto Kraken, actually, as they missed the rally. And now Hellborn going to try to turn this around. Excellent red sun in the background. 5-second one onto Clanks. That might be enough to get the kill here. Chain reactions actually go down there. Still not popping the Shrunken Head. There goes the token. Probably going to see the Shrunken as TDL comes back up. Gets charged in there, and actually might take too much damage here. There goes the physical damage. Shrunken Head saving quite a lot. Abyssal Skull with the, actually, lifesteal is going to allow her to clean up here. Rhapsody running away from Dark Lady. That's not going to be nearly enough. As the Shrunken finally does wear off, Staccatos are there as well, and actually she will get the counter kill. She does die, but that's a huge kill there. Eye is on Gauntlet. Rally still has a Compel, but it's on for 10 seconds. Torture's got a chain reaction stun as well. He needs to land it, though, and there's the double invis. They have an eye on the Torture, of course, though, so they know exactly where Gauntlet is. That's going to be 1 death, and he's going to lose yet another eye. So a couple of eyes on the ground here for the Hellborn side to pick up, and it's a pretty nice fight back from the Hellborn team.
That was fun to watch.
I think Dark Lady could have actually lived there, though, in that team fight. If he had charged back into the Rhapsody instead of charging away for her to get a stun off, I think he would have lived.
I honestly would have been a proponent of popping the Shrunken before even using the token. He was sitting there taking a lot of damage from stuns and stuff, and if you just dropped that in there, he probably would have cleaned up a few hero kills before they could even get anything off. So I know the typical thing is don't use your Shrunken before you token, because if you die really fast, then you're going to come back up without a Shrunken, and maybe it'll only last for a few seconds, but I think in hindsight, it might have been better to use it.
And the Kling's Thunderclaw that fight was doing a lot of
Yeah,
damage.
it was.
The Thunderclaw, the Goon Squad with the Elder Parasite is just insane amounts of damage.
And that's what, once again, locked them to TDL, is when she stops moving for a second and Clanks is allowed to auto-attack her for a little bit, she does drop pretty fast. She's not that tanky, now she is, with nearly 2k health as she picks up the Frostburn, but earlier she wasn't.
You guys want to guess what Gauntlet just picked up? Codex.
Oh, that's always fun. Masera feeling this game's over, which
Yeah.
he's probably right, but I don't think he's that right.
Masera's picked up huge kills. Like, TDL should be getting most of these kills, but somehow Gauntlet manages to get them every time. And
It's
with
13,
400
2, and 7.
GPM, I'm sure, just Codex, why not? They do have a Clanks, Rhapsody, and Torture.
Notable that Marcus Moy also has a Quick Blade here on top of the Frostburn, so I don't know if that was a misclick or
Maybe a Basher.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe
or
a Basher.
Nullfire.
Not bad.
Yeah, that would make sense. I think a Basher would probably be a little bit better,
I agree.
especially against that Clanks.
And there goes the Nullstone with the Taint Soul.
Yep.
Let's see if there's a jump here. Rally again, sort of getting caught out. They're charging strikes in. Easy kill onto him. Goon Squad comes out from Clanks, trying to get the kill onto Tempest. They're sort of fighting on top of cliffs here. Torture gets dragged down to the bottom, and he's going to definitely take a death. Panny falls, meanwhile, in the background over here, as he's also getting caught. Looks like Revenant is in some trouble as well. Marcus
Clanks
Moy
is
is dead, and yeah, Clanks isn't, but will fall to the Gauntlet and Tempest over here. Actually, Revenant still alive somehow, so really two separate fights going on there. And I managed to generally miss most of the action there, but Kraken will charge back in here and get Okami. Ends up being a 3 for 3. And I think that's a trade Hellborn will take right now. They will take 1 versus
Definitely.
1 trades, especially because they are so far down. So not bad at all. Stopping Marcus Moy at least a little bit for about, just over a minute, and Clanks as well.
Yeah,
So-
Raleigh keeps putting himself into really bad positions
I
away
feel
from
like
his
it.
team. Yeah.
So gonna have to see some better play here from Justman on that rally, but it's still not looking good for the Hellborn side. I think even if he steps this game up a little bit, they are pretty damn far behind, nearly 18k gold and 24k experience. So Beaverbanger, if you're in this situation, if you're the Solaire club right now, what's your plan?
I mean,
Besides dropping Tempest and dropping a Kraken ultimate on top of him and trying to kill him, but there's a Gauntlet.
This would be a really tough
And
game to win.
Rhapsody 4 is there as well. Gonna finally get the kill on St. Rocks, and Kraken actually not gonna take any more damage thanks to Rhapsody ultimate, so they do get a couple of picks up top. Power throw not gonna connect. Another bound eye on the floor. So the Legion side just keeps buying these things and dying. But anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about before.
See, it would be a really tough game for the Hellborn to win. I guess just wait for them to make mistakes. Like if they go off by themselves, like they just did top, when they don't have a full team.
Right.
But I don't know. I guess they could. There's not much they can do. I don't think against a Dark Lady, but maybe just hopefully turtle it out until Clanks gets big enough, and maybe they can compete at Kongor, contend.
I mean,
and that's pretty much about it.
I'm not even sure if turtling is going to work for them. Between the Tempest and the TDL, I think they might actually also have late game on the Legion side. I mean, there is Rhapsody, Kraken, Rally, Clank, so they definitely got late game power. But
The reason I say turtle is because they do have that amazing team fight with the Kraken, the Rhapsody, the Torture, and
definitely true.
Legion. Gauntlet does kind of lose his effectiveness
Yeah.
as the game goes on. And maybe if they can contend to Kongor and maybe even get the token on Clanks, then I guess the game could go in their direction. But to do that, Dark Lady is going to need to die a couple more times, and that's doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. So
No. And Gauntlet here. So they need to make some mistakes on the Legion side, like picking up a Codex in their Gauntlet, which is
Exactly.
pretty much a waste of 3,000 gold at this point. And now 4,000 gold because it's level 2.
He just picked up his level 3, so that'd be 5,000.
Masera, I mean, if they lose this
Yeah.
game, like, that's entirely on him, I feel like. For just wasting it. Yeah, Dark
Lady
Lady
I think
now.
it's only entirely
And now
team.
all of a sudden he's in a lot of trouble as he didn't realize how bad that was. Ultimate gets dropped there and Marcus Moy will drop. So this is what they needed to have happen.
It's exactly what they needed to have happen. I don't really agree with the Basher pickup on Dark Lady. I would have much rather seen a Wingbow. I think Wingbow is one of the strongest items on that hero, especially once you're capped out against another hero like Clanks. But that was pretty huge for the Hellborn. Pretty game changing.
Looks like they're going to take a tier 1 bottom as well as a
They might
tier
be
2.
able to go Rax here.
They're going to have to be
And-
careful about top, though.
Legion does only have one Rax. One set of Raxes isn't. You can come back from
Yeah.
that. It's not game changing. Not game changing.
I'd say it's game changing. I don't think it's
Well, it
game
is game
breaking.
changing. It's not. Yeah, game breaking. There we go.
Obviously, with one set of racks down, it does make it a lot easier to push in the other lanes. But it is, yeah, it is by no means, you know, an instant CC or an instant loss or anything like that. And they're going to try to trade here, which is favoring the Hellborn side pretty heavily, as they've already killed the tower there. And Aluna might be in some trouble. Clanks is trying to kill her, but that's just a distraction. Looks like they will take bottom racks here, and I don't think that top racks are going to go down in favor of the Legion side, so this is a pretty awesome fight for them. Now Clanks jumping on Aluna here. That's going to be a pretty easy kill as the Hawk comes out. Once again, an eye picked up and then killed this time. Top racks. Sheepstick actually there. Onto Tempest. Plus Seismic Slam. Going to be a pretty easy kill onto him despite the push book away. There's another portal key from Kraken. On top of the Torrent. That's a... Come on, St. Rocks, just die, please. Off to the side here, actually. Torture falls as well, but Clanks has the Goon Squad up, plus the Hawk, and Gauntlet's taking a ton of damage. Of course, can't jump away because of the portal key disable from the hero damage. Finally does get the kill onto Masera, so 2 counter kills as well as the kill onto Aluna in the base. They counter the bottom racks, and they don't lose the top racks.
We've got ourselves a game.
We do.
No doubt about that. I mean, keep in mind, just like 2 minutes ago, the gold lead from the Legion team was 20k gold, 20k experience. Now it's at 10k, 13k experience gold, and that's almost like a cut in half. That's pretty drastic, and if ever they have a chance, it's right now.
I feel like this is Game of Thrones, is what it is.
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean-
sure right now the entire Legion team is yelling at Masera for getting a Codex.
Yep.
That's to be expected, because if you do get a Codex, if you're ballsy enough and confident enough to get a Codex, and then somehow there's a chance that you might lose at that point, your team will always look at you.
And rightly
As you mentioned
so.
earlier. Yeah,
I mean-
but I mean, if you're up by 20k gold, 20k experience, there's really not one person to blame. I feel like that's your entire team's responsibility because of losing such a huge lead.
No doubt. And over here, actually, once again, they're going to get Aluna caught out. There's a Sheepstick. Revenant trying to save him. Now, Revenant could be in some trouble. The eye's coming in from Rhapsody. He's also going to die. Cover of Darkness gets stopped, but it's not going to do anything. And that's 120 second
Convoy is
cooldown
up.
used. Yep. And that's what I was saying
What is
earlier
going
is
on?
they should have... They took mid-racks, and they didn't even try to Convoy. Like, they just decided, oh, let's go overdo stuff. I don't know if it was still alive or not, but maybe I'm just being crazy. But now Kongor is dead, and Clanks is going to have a token.
And I wouldn't be surprised. I guess Clanks might pick up a Geos here, but I'd much rather see a Wingbow on Clanks right now.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially against the TDO.
Kongor has been slain.
His TDO is capped out. He finished a Basher, and so all Clanks has to do is with a Wingbow, and he can pretty effectively counter the Dark Lady.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Legion side now has a 7k advantage in gold and a 9k advantage experience, much, much lower than they were before, but I feel like they're on the back foot, and they might even be behind, despite the resource disadvantage for the Hellborn side. All the momentum definitely feels like it's in favor of Hellborn.
Yeah, momentum-wise, sure, but as far as lead-wise, like, you cannot overlook a 7k, 8k gold experience difference. That is pretty significant, but I mean, it looks like Legion team is just falling apart. They're not roaming together anymore, they're not playing as a team, they're just getting picked off one by one. So they could be losing morale, which is super important to have, especially in these high-level matches, because if you lose that, chances are you're going to lose the game.
Right. Okay, so they've got 7k now, but it is getting smaller and smaller. 4k of that is in Gauntlet's Codex, which is not a useless item, but it's kind
Actually,
of close.
6. It's level 4 Codex.
Is it
So
really?
Clanks-
I keep looking at it, and it keeps saying level 2. It says Codex level 2 to me. Am I crazy?
I think
It
you might
says-
be.
Masera's Codex?
It says it's level 2 for me also.
What are you on,
Okay, what's
Oz?
Kill star.
And you gotta fall over here as well.
I don't want to talk about it.
Massacre.
And okay, now Hellborn are going to try to break base here, and they can probably do this. Token's up on Clanks, which means if they jump him, he's going to come right back. Comes back in there with the gauntlet hook, very well done, and they're going to try to kill him pretty quickly here, but he's got so much damage. And is he going to get out of here? No, Token of Life finally does go out. But they're going to be careful about this. Clank's running away with the Hawks. Nice ultimate from Tempest. Immediately canceled by the Sheep Stick. So very, very well done there. Torch going to take the fall in the background. But over here, it looks like they're trying to go 1v1 with Rhapsody. Ultimate not doing too much there. And Rally now going to fall as well. So Clanks has to run away, of course. Has already used the token. And he looks like he will be okay. Unless he runs into Gauntlet here because he tries to go with the Illusion Rune. He won't do that, though, and it looks like he'll be just fine. So they look to put some damage in the top tower, and they get turned on pretty quickly as they lose the token, as well as 3 heroes, despite a nice Sheepstick on the Tempest ultimate.
That was humongous. That was a humongous ulti from Tempest. Clanks actually just picked up a Dawnbringer, which I really don't like, especially against the Dark Lady. I think if you're going to go with a Firebrand, you go the Geos.
A Hellborn barracks has been destroyed.
And top lane once again, initiation on Marcus Moy, plus the release the Kraken. That's going to be a kill pretty easily. They did lose the Rax, counter Sheepstick as well onto Gauntlet, so 2 heroes dead. And they drop the Rax, but lose Marcus Moy, they lose Gauntlet. They both have buybacks, though, so it shouldn't be that big a deal. And we'll see if they try to counter push this on the Hellborn side. I don't think they can. But yeah, you're saying Dumber?
Yeah, I don't really like the Dawnbringer pickup. I think the Geos would have been much better if you're going that route, if you're actually going to upgrade the Firebrand. Especially against heroes like... I mean, he does have a Hellflower, which kind of... I mean, I guess it can counter that. But if I personally wouldn't have upgraded the Firebrand right away, I would have gone the Wingbow.
Right.
Just because I think it's such a strong item, especially against a hero without a Savage Mace. And even Savage Mace did get nerfed, so a lot of people don't even think it's worth picking up anymore.
So Hellborn side pushing base here and probably going to force a buyback from TDL and Gauntlet. Of course, they do have plenty of money for that. And interesting to me that TDL hasn't finished her Dawnbringer. She does have 4.5k gold. She could pretty easily buy that light brand. Does that mean you think that she goes for Frostbrand actually? As Tempest's going to get dropped here pretty easy. Initiation there from Illumina. Not a great idea. Counters from Gauntlet will stop the Rhapsody ultimate. Ends up picking up the Kraken kill and the Rhapsody kill. Seismic Slam attempted from Rally, but not going to happen. Codex finishes him off as well. So the buyback from the Legion side, very effective there. And looks like Torturer will get caught out. Yes, the Glacial Blast to stop his teleport. And looks at the pushback, but won't find it. And that will be a 4-for-0 there in favor of Legion side. So they do lose their mid-tier 3 tower, but no racks are down, and now they can counter push. Clanks also has a buyback, as does Kraken and Torturer. But, bottom lane, that's going to be the focus here, and as well it should be. So is this going to be game?
Not yet.
Looks
I
like
hope this
Kraken-
is a really good game.
Kraken, Rally, and Torture might... I mean, I think Rally might have a buyback. I'm not completely sure. I think he does, and I think Torture's a buyback too, so it might not be game. Rhapsody's up in around 14 seconds.
Yeah. Kraken has buyout, of course. And there goes the Rally buyback.
2 seconds.
And now it's up. So there's Luis Kraken dropped right onto Marcus Moy, and he's going to drop. So there's Tempest Hole in the background, but it's doing nothing. There's no damage follow-up whatsoever. And now Tempest is going to fall, despite having the shrunken head. Over here, Revenant has a bound eye, and he's looking to run away. He's probably going to live here, I think. But the buybacks from the Hellborn.
Sheep from Rally.
Yeah.
From the Dark Lady. That sheep is really paying off.
It really is. So he doesn't have the portal key, but still doing pretty well here. And it looks like they're trying to push down middle lane once again. Again, Marcus Moy does have a buyback, but it would be his final buyback. Clanks doesn't. It's pretty... So he did go the Wingbow, but...
He did go the Wingbow.
Now he doesn't have a
He should
buyback.
have gone up before. I mean, when you have as much attack speed as that Clanks did even 10 minutes ago, why would you get Dawnbringer? You don't need more health, you don't need more mana, you don't need the slow with all the CC that you have in your team. So I think that was the wrong pick.
Look at that attack speed.
It's
and
insane.
There goes mid-racks.
Has been destroyed.
So Marcus Moy not buying back here. He needs to. I mean, this is mega creeps. There we go. Finally he dies
They
back.
destroyed a Legion tower.
Clanks still does not have a buyback, but they're going to drop a tier 3 and just run away, which is absolutely the right call. They saw the buyback on Marcus Moy, and they're like, alright, we're not going to take this anymore. There goes
They don't
the
have a Tempest follow-up,
initiation, as well as the cover of darkness, but the TP away from Rally, and he's going to be just fine. So, Gauntlet comes in with his ultimate and the Shrunken Head. No Tempest ultimate, as you said. He is back up in a few seconds, but they've countered the mid-racks, and the gold league's even.
Yeah, that was a really great choice on the Solaire Club from just getting back right after getting that tower. I mean, if they would have stayed, which a lot of teams would have because they're that confident being in the enemy space, they could have definitely thrown that game.
Yep.
When you're this close and both teams have both enemy Raxes, you need to play extremely carefully because any misplay could be the end of the game.
And we saw earlier, we just kept talking about Dark Lady and how much farm she had. 550 gold per minute here, still doing well, but Clanks is up to 600 GPM. And Thunderclaw, man, good item.
Yeah. Charged hammer, even better.
Yep. And I would expect Kongor to be back up in the next couple of seconds at the very least. Did we just lose somebody?
Huh?
No? You're here. Okay. Beaverbanger,
No,
still
we're both
around?
here.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I don't know. Some sound changed, it felt like, and made me all paranoid. Anyway. Because now he's apparently connecting.
No, this is curious. Two Legion players roaming through the
Clanks
Hellborn.
doesn't have a teleport.
Yeah.
This is a problem. I don't know what you're doing here, Clanks, but this is an interesting decision. TDL also doesn't have a TP, though. And she's caught in the middle.
He's going for it.
This is going to work out really well for Solaire Club because Marcus Moy doesn't have a teleport, and she's getting delivered one now, but they're going to go back to mid, and that's going to be top racks.
Oh, wow.
A Legion
Gauntlet
barracks has
continuing
been
to get
destroyed.
Codex. What the hell is he thinking?
At this point, I guess he's in. Meanwhile, initiation there, not going to happen, but the Hawk off to the side. Nobody's going to catch him there.
Oh.
Easy kill on Marcus Moy. Nice Tempest ultimate, but after TDL is already dead, once again, Sheepstick down there, goes on to Gauntlet. He's going to die. Ultimate from Rhapsody comes out. Finally, doesn't do too much there as Kraken is already dead, but that's game.
A Legion barracks has been destroyed.
Good game, folks.
That-
Jeez.
What the hell? Like,
What happened? this game?
that shouldn't even have happened at all.
I
Okay.
mean, 20 minutes in, we were saying, we weren't saying it, but we each thought to ourselves, there's no way this Hellborn team's over, let's just go to the next game. I was thinking that for sure, and I'm sure you guys are thinking the same
Yep.
thing. What the hell happened? I mean, my best speculation is every single time Tempest got a great ultimate off, it was after Dark Lady had died.
Yeah.
Which, they need to go hand in hand. Like, you cannot get that damage off without your Dark Lady. So,
I agree.
failure to communicate.
I feel like a lot of this was on Masera for going to Codex. Like, that just should not have happened. But Marcus Moy
The Hellborn
misplayed
have destroyed
a
Legion
fair
tower.
bit, I think.
I think so too. I think that he was caught out of position a lot with that sheepstick, and that cost him the game.
And then at that last fight, he was at the
The
bottom
Hellborn
lane,
destroyed
near where the
Legion
tier 1
tower.
tower usually is for the Legion side, with no teleport, and he eventually had to sell an item to buy a TP to come back. But by the time he showed up, the Melioraks were already dead. So then they took a team fight to basically stop Mega Creeps, which is great, but even if they win that team fight, there's still a buyback on Clanks. He doesn't have a buyback, and where's the road back? Oh man, that was crazy. Anyway, Beaverbanger,
agree.
what do you got? Final thoughts here?
What do I have
Yeah.
for that game?
Final thoughts? What do you think?
I think that the sheepstick was definitely the game-changing item for that.
Yes.
For the Hellborn team, definitely.
And well done to Rally there. Apparently not as bad a hero as I thought if you get the Sheepstick. And apparently Portal Key not key either. So we're learning all sorts of new stuff this game, but that will do it.